Call Brandon Board of Education regular meeting September 18th, 2023. Can I get a roll call vote?
Okay.
Roll call.
Here.
Rebecca,
Here.
Lisa,
Here.
Kim.
Here.
Hillary.
Here.
Carly.
Here.
Jan.
Here.
Hoyt.
Here.
All right, let's stand.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first up is our DHS student report.
All right, just to reintroduce ourselves, it's been a while since we last year. My name is Jack Michelle. I am the student council president and senior class president.
My name is Claire Nelson. I'm the student council vice president.
These will be your student representatives. Call your mom. There you go.
You can go ahead and start.
Okay, well, actually, it's the next slide that's our first. But we just included some pictures here that we'll explain.
So these are a lot of the pictures that were taken at recent Brandon High School events for the athletes, and we're going to use some stats. So football is currently 1-3, volleyball is 7-4-1, and tennis is 1-5, and soccer is 6-3-1. So the fall sports that we currently have going on at BHS is football, soccer, cheer, cross country, boys tennis, girls swim and dive, girls golf, and pops, and volleyball. And I have some.
Anyways, you know, so for our student council updates, our homecoming theme this year is Wild West. We have the dance coming up on September 30th. We have the homecoming parade on September 29th, as long as the pep assembly on the 29th, and local performance, just our core performance that will be taking place at halftime at the game on the 29th. We have spirit days all throughout that week of homecoming week, and we are doing prep for our kind of winter things we focus on, which include our charity week and our service projects. So we're starting to figure out what we want to do for our charity week and our service projects. And then we are also planning on going to Camp Copenhagen at the end of October for our annual Brandon Student Council Camp. We spend an overnight at Camp Copenhagen, and it's a great event for our council to bond, get to know each other, and work better together as a council. And then we're also still working on our Angel Closet, which is located in our high school. This is a closet that we created a couple years ago and started doing stuff with last year. And it's where anyone can donate clothes for any high school student. And it's if anyone needs any spirit wear, any formal wear, or any day clothes. We're looking to put school supplies, even if anybody needs any hygiene products, they're in there. And if any student needs it, they can go to the counseling office and say, hey, I need to go to the Angel Closet. Then they will a free shopping trip.
So some of the recent activities that we've had going on at Brandon School and Brandon is we had Lake Cruise annual freshman orientation, and very well, it was a lot of fun. And then we did back to school night with the free spaghetti dinner. And we also had our first responders game. And then we have math tutoring still, which is Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then play auditions were today.
And then some of our upcoming events are all the homecoming activities I described in our last slide. We have our first late start day next Wednesday, the 27th, which I'm looking forward to. We have football and cheer senior night on October 13th. Junior PSATs will be taken on October 17th. We have a choir concert on the 19th, band festival on the 21st, and a band concert on the 24th. Now those are all happening in October. we don't have much other than homecoming. That's what it- Any questions?
That was great information.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. So, superintendent report, Carly?
All right, I've got a few items here this evening, the first of which I'd like to invite up our Harvey Swanson teachers and our Oakwood teachers regarding our fifth grade trip to Mackinac. I'm coming on up here and providing some information to the board that would be appreciated.
You know, I'm not trying to understand.
We're here to request approval for our overnight camping for Mackinac trip and May 21st, 22nd. We take all the fifth graders to Mackinac. They spend a first day on mainland, and then the second day they're get on the ferry, and we spend a day on the island, and then we come across later in the evening to get a bus and head back. So the first day we arrive, we go to Discovery Park, which is like Cotai Lumberjack and kind of has a little bit of Michigan history. And then we go to the fort, which is on the mainland. And then we go to Lumberjack, which is new this year, which was a lot of fun. And then we go back to the hotel, and there was like a mini water park, so the kids get to swim and then have dinner, and then we have s'mores, and then we're all tired. We go to bed, and the next day we get up and catch the ferry, and we first get on the carriages to go up to our track, and then we go to our track, do all of that, come back down to the Fort Island, spend an hour or so on there, and then the children, everybody eats lunch and has the afternoon to themselves to walk around. The bikes are included in the price, so they can take a bike ride around the island. Anybody meets back at the ferry at 4:30, and we have help. So we're hoping to do that like once again this year, so the kids can enjoy it. And we do offer all of both buildings offer fundraising to kind of help the cost for those that can't afford it, and we try to make sure everyone goes. That's our goal, to have everyone go. So we tried last year, Oakwood, I think 6 or 8 ago. I'm not sure what her response is in it, but we try to offer it to all. And parents are, any parent wants to come is invited. So chaperones are never a problem. So we usually have 2 chaperones and son daughters, or we have 1 chaperone and their son daughter and 2 others. So we don't have a problem with chaperones. They would love to answer your question.
I think that's great. You're doing that. I appreciate you talking to us about that. So I love that both schools are going there. That's nice. And I love that everybody can have a chance to go. That's great.
I have a quick question. How many years have you been?
This is our next. Fifth year funding, 4th year. So we try to do it over COVID. But it was, but that's why I said.
It's hard to set. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ladies. We have another trip approval later in our agenda today, so I know that Jacqueline kind of spoke to it a little bit in her presentation. We'd be happy to hear some more. Thank you. Sounds good.
More support. We are looking to go to Camp Copenhagen October 23rd and 24th. So overnight trip with all the student council. There will be myself and my male chaperone from the high school. Usually take a teacher with us. It's a great opportunity for teachers to kind of see what we do in the council, and also to convince them to do more things with us, like dances, trips, and things like that. When we're at Camp Copenhagen, we will be doing a bonfire the first night we're there. We run at 7 o'clock at night. to the bonfire and some singing, and we learned some dancing moves. It's quite fun. We do stay up quite late that night where we do what we call chair interviews, where we get to know each of the members on a more individual basis. Because we are 9 through 12, a lot of students don't necessarily know each other when we first start out. So it's kind of a good idea for them to feel comfortable with all the different members because we'll be working together throughout the school year in different committees. During the day, on the second day, we do a bunch of team building activities as well as problem solving communication strategies to help the students to figure out their problems and communicate and help each other out to meet an end goal. So that's how we spend our day on the second day, and then we leave at 2 o'clock so all of our athletes can return back to where they're students. Lots of fun.
It is, it's a lot of fun. It's a
fun.
great way to
It's
get that.
very beneficial.
That sounds awesome.
This is the annual thing for you.
Yeah, it is. Before I took over student council, I actually gone on a trip 3 times prior with the other advisors. We've gone every year except for the COVID years.
Great.
Thank you very much. Thanks for telling us about
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
All right, next up, we have a showcase. And our first showcase for this year is at the middle school. So Mr. Air, you're up. Thank you for coming this evening. I'm looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you so much for having me. You'll see while she's pulling this up, I gave you all a talk ticket that we started giving out the last 2 days. So I was telling Kim before we started, the students are so excited when they come in because we have them turn them into the office. So they're not always coming there if they're in trouble. And so it was really cool to see some of the students like, I'm like, you're the second one, you know, because we just started. So the art students are decorating a box that will house all of them and they'll stay there. So anyway, well, I'll talk more about that as we get to it. Okay, so the first slide here, I've highlighted 2 beliefs that we worked on as a staff. And we spent a lot of time talking about things. I guess first we started by ourselves and we looked at these 7 beliefs and said, you know, what if you had to narrow them down? And I will say that, you know, Mrs. Stone had us do this as administrators, and it was so impactful that as administrators with our buildings, we all basically did the same thing. And those are the 2 the 2 beliefs we landed on as our staff. At the very bottom, I wanted to share, and I think it's important that my personal vision, and it's a little bit cut off, but basically it says every student will finish Brandon Middle School with the foundational academic and social skills that will prepare them for high school and beyond. I think skill building is really important in our young men and women. So, yeah, there we go. So I wanted to give you an overview of what I talked to each grade level. I had the 6th graders come down and we talked on Monday, last Monday, and then Wednesday was 7th and Friday was 8th grade. So this is an overview of what we did, and I'm just giving you, you know, some of the slides. Those were the main bullet points that we talked about. So I started with the class of 2030. And that makes me feel old to say that, but this will make you even feel older because I said, do you know how many days it is until you graduate? And so then it's about 2,400 days, but it goes fast, and that's what I told them. They didn't seem like they believed it, but I said, pretty soon you'll be old like me. So, and I shared this with all the students and actually the parents that came to our back to school night. And so I think it was an appropriate slide to include, and I've just clicked through these. Quite a few different things. The 6th graders, we moved them mostly downstairs. It's impossible to completely get them, but some of the electives, they go upstairs, and a couple of our teachers teach 6 and 7. So it's hard to do that. All lunches by grade level, which has worked out very well. The students have said it. I've had good feedback from parents. There's a lot of new staff. There's a slide later with that. Late starts, as the high school students mentioned. I think our students are looking forward to them as well. And there's some new signage. I'll show you pictures of that. And we do have a seminar, and we've tweaked the structure a little bit, and I'll talk some more about that in a second. Try and- Can you help me?
I can. It's not moving on the arrow. There we go.
This is another concept that I've really emphasized and I think it's powerful is we talk about how you influence all the people around you. We call it your 20 square feet. And then the person hula hooping is, as you're walking, you're influencing all those people around you, whether you're in the hallway, in the cafeteria, in the classroom. And so we try to live our hawk culture and control our 20 square feet. And that's something that I think, you know, students can identify with. And so we talked a lot more about it and they have in seminar as well, but there's our hawk beliefs and how we want to try to live. And we talked about all the skills that go with those individual phrases. And we're going to continue that work. Can you click again?
I can. For some reason, it's delayed tonight,
It's okay. It's good.
and I don't know why.
Okay.
Network.
Luckily, I've worked with technology before.
Yeah, no, it seems to be on a delay this evening and.
I won't speak on a delay because that would be, you know, but, okay, oh yeah, so next, yep, there it
There
is.
we go.
So I have a list of supports and I think it's important for parents and students and the board as well to see all of the different options that we offer, and it's still delaying. Up there, we have counselors, social worker, behavioral support, academic support, and me, I'm included in that. We have seminar and tutoring available, and then a care and concern form, which I did want to talk about because I know a lot of times bullying is a topic that comes out, and I want you to know that we've been very thorough about sharing this care and concern form with every teacher, with every staff member, with every secretary, and students know that they can fill this out. It is not just for bullying, it's about if you hear something that a student is struggling emotionally, you can turn this into any trusted staff member. And then that will go to our mental health team and will immediately take action. Our teachers know that, you know, that process as well. So that's something we're really, spending a lot of time getting the students to be comfortable with that. I won't bore you with this, but this was part of the presentation. Mrs. Thick talked about those things. And that was part of the presentation. Up next is the Hawk ticket. So once that comes up, you will skip it. I just have a big picture of it. And essentially, I'll tell you, we're going to do a drawing every Friday. And that will be for a small prize. I'm told slime lickers are very popular for middle school students. So that might be one of the prizes. And then we plan, yeah, I don't know. I hear they're growth for adults, only students like them. There it is. And then we're gonna do a bigger prize drawing at semester or end of year, so. And then as a student of the month, we want it to be tied to these same traits. So if you're doing things that you should, like if you're picking up paper or something like that, that's a Hawk ticket. We want to see that behavior. But if you're living at an elite level of the Hawk traits, we want you to get the eye of the Hawk. And that's like student of the month. So we're gonna have something, and that's not necessarily the official certificate, but it's pretty cool. I designed that. So I don't know. So new to BMS, I mean, that's our staff. And so there's quite a few individuals on there, including me at the bottom. And so it's I'm very excited to work. And it says mostly new because some people have returned from other places or have worked in some capacity before. So, and a lot of veterans too. So that's helpful to have that experience on there. This delay is really, oh yeah, other BMS things, the math work, we have planned throughout the year to work with Jennifer Curtis from Oakland Schools, and she's phenomenal. The ELA, we're working on a process for honors and how we're going to, you know, have a student that's advanced and and proceed through that process. We have math and reading labs that are in place, and we're maximizing those supports. And I just met today with our MTSS team, and we're working on all those supports for students. And the student leadership group, I'm very excited about. They are actually planning, and I want to talk to the high school students. I'm supposed to know what your spirit days are, because we're gonna maybe have some of the same ones, maybe not, I'm not sure, but I need to know what they are. A couple of cool new things, that's our sign, that's at the entrance, and then that, I just picked up weights from Play It Again Sports. And they, you know, we paid for them, but it was a really good deal because they knew they were going in our fitness center. There's way more than that, that's just a small picture. But Mr. Parsons is totally pumped because he's able to have all these different stations with dumbbells. So I'm very excited about that. And here's just some signage that you see. A lot of these are student made. Mrs. Daniels' students put together these right outside her classroom, and that's new signage that's around the whole school in the bottom right there. So helps directionally for anyone that has been to the middle school. It's a bit of a maze, but it's an easy maze, and that's a helpful way to do it. And this is how we start every morning. Actually, Mrs. Colbert says, "We are Brandon," and her class says, "And I am a Blackhawk." And so I will end with that. And that's the middle school.
Oh, thank you. I like that 20-foot.
20
That awareness.
Oh, yeah, like, and I told them the cafeteria table is about 20 square feet, so now at lunchtime, they're like, "Mr. My 20 square feet is getting a mess," you know, and I'm like, okay, that's good, it's working.
But I love when you say be elite in your 20
Yeah.
feet. And
Yeah, it's
that's pretty clever.
little freestyle laughing.
That's good. Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much, Mr. Ayer. We appreciate your time this evening. Hey, Brian, nice to see you. How are you?
Evening.
You got any cool rap going?
Good evening, everyone. Here to give another bond update. Rich was trying to connect. I don't know if he's successful or not, but I'll just go through the best I can.
He should be, I sent a
Did he?
panelist,
Okay.
well, I don't see him on there, but he did receive panelist rights.
Right, you have no trouble. So anyway, so tonight, let's go.
Right, it is turned
There
on.
we go. Okay, so a little updates for the summer of 24 projects that we currently are in design. We're getting ready to go for bid. This is the bidding schedule, the bid packs 4 and 5. I'll explain those in more detail in a second. So the two bid packs will be going out. Bid packs will be going out in October for bidding to the contractors. Bids will be due near the end of October. On November 8th, we'll be presenting all the bid results to you at the committee of the whole meeting, and then discussing in detail all of the bids and our recommendations and the reasons why. And then on November 20th, that's when you will take action and actually award contracts for summer of 24 work. Bid package number 4 is the paving package. So that'll include two pieces. Number 1 is the Goodman Drive replacement, which is the connecting drive between middle school and high school. Secondly, will be the Swanton parking lot redesign, as we've talked for several times before. We are taking an alternate bid on that design to remove the tennis courts. If you remember, let me go forward here. This is the Goodman Drive connection here, the gray off to the left. You can see the high school down in the lower right corner. So that's the scope of work for Goodman Drive. For Swanson, this is the demolition plan. You see the one tennis court is shaded in gray. That's going to be removed, which will allow us to expand the parking and circulation path of the current parking lot. So this is the new design. The bus loop would be all by itself up in the upper right corner. And then the parents' cars drop off and pickup will be all in the current bus drop in front of the school. And we've expanded the parking area. So you can see on that picture that 7th tennis court is removed. We are taking an alternate bid to remove the rest of the courts, restore that area back to just lawn and grass. So we'll see how those numbers come in when we do that. So Question we had before previous meeting was regarding the remainder of the tennis courts. To restore or to take the 3 tennis courts on the north-hand side that'll be left and create car parking, and we have to basically remove all the court because this cross-section of pavement is not made for cars, made for people. So to do that is about $250,000 to $300,000. And then the remaining 4 courts on the south half, and we take all the rest of that pavement, which includes the piece in between. There's a large piece of pavement in between, all the fencing, take all the lighting down, everything else is $340,000 to $400,000 if you wanted to do that. So just wanted to put that up there for reference. But the alternate bid will be to remove all of that and restore it to grass. Forward, so bid package 5. There's 2 components. There's high school and middle school components to this. So at the high school, the scope of work is replacing some selected exterior doors. There's still a handful of the old metal doors around the pool area that have rusted. Some of them are very difficult to open, so we're going to be replacing those with new aluminum doors. The pool roof replacement, as we've been talking about for a long time now, that'll be replaced. The metal roof will come off, all the insulation will come off down to the metal deck, and then we'll put on new insulation and new metal roofing. The interior of the pool, we have to scrape and paint everything there's a lot of peeling paint and so forth over the years due to the humidity. That'll be removed, sandblasted off, and then the new air barrier paint will be painted on top, on the surface of the deck. And also the pool scoreboard and timing system. We went out for bids with that last year, but we did not receive any bids, so we're going to go back out for bids for that. That would complete the pool remodeling in the summer of 24. The middle school component, again, there's some exterior doors, metal doors that we were replacing with aluminum, and then the flooring in the classrooms and hallways. We met with the principal and walked through and determined that scope of work. So all the classrooms and hallways are currently have carpet, and flooring will be replaced. The majority of that is going to be back with the LVT product like we just did at Swanson. Carpet will go back in just some selected rooms, but the majority of the rooms will be going back as the LVT product. So we'll get into some color selection later on after the books go out. Any questions? I went pretty quickly, but that's bid pack 4 and 5. Not as much scope as we had last year with Swanson, so hopefully it's a little bit easier. So that's the bid packs 4 and 5. Again, they'll be going out for bids in October, and we'll be bringing them to you in November, so you can award it before the holiday. Be out in front of everybody else and the last year.
Hey, Brian, I was able to make it in.
Oh, there's Rich. Hey, Rich, you got one more thing to talk, and then I got some your slides at the end here, but I have not.
I see Maria's screen.
Okay, hold on, I'm stuck here. Okay, well, I wanted to talk about the Oakwood playground. That's an item on your agenda for later on for action to award the installation of the playground equipment. We went out for bids for that. Came in at $61,900, which is about $9,000 over what we thought it was going to come in as a total project, because that also includes $140,000 of new equipment that we'll be purchasing that would go into Oakwood. Oh, there it is. There, okay, so the bond allocation originally was $125,000. There was another $31,250 that was slated for exterior door replacement at Oakwood. We did not need to do any of that. All the doors are currently aluminum and walking with Mark. There really was no maintenance or anything needed to the doors. So we, at a previous meeting, we requested we shift that exterior door number into the playground number, which gives us a total bond allocation then of $156,250. The total project cost, you can see down next is purchase is $104,262. The equipment installation, which we'll be awarding tonight, was $61,900 for a total of $166,162. So put us over by $9,912 as an overall budget. That scope of work that we bid out, this is an aerial view of Swanson. So on the right-hand side, we're taking out the pointer. Let's see, it doesn't work. Okay, the pointer. So item F in the lower right-hand corner is the very large piece of play structure that's currently there. That's the one we've been having trouble with, so we've already taken pieces off of that unit, so it is safe for the children to use the stall. But the rest of the play structure, we want to remove that. Also in the upper right corner, the item E is the old swing set that is not in non-compliance. We want to remove that as well. And the other swing set on the left-hand side is the letter F. I'm going to take that swing set out as well, and that'll create more open space for us. This is the new design here. So in the upper left is a new play structure. See them kind of outlined in red. Those outlines are the fall zones that the CPSC requires for each piece of equipment. So we are putting back a four swing unit in the lower right, and basically dead center, the lower part. The round piece on the left, and then the round piece in the lower right corner. Those are existing climbers that we're leaving in place. They're in fine shape. Kids do use them. So we didn't see a need to spend any money to remove those items and replace them with something new. They're doing just fine. And also dead center up at the top, there's also some monkey bars that the kids also use as well. We're gonna leave those in place. On the right-hand side is where that's the current layout of that big structure. That'll be removed and replaced with a new unit that looks similar to this right here. That has 16 different activities for the kids to play on, slides, climbing devices, etc. So that'll complete the playground. So there's several other pieces you can see outlined in the red circles there. So the total again for the new equipment to purchase, we want to purchase this like we did the furniture at Swanson, it's through a cooperative bid. All the items have already been vetted out. They're at a large discount already with a 45% discount. So those costs, that cost is the 104,262. So if we award the installation tonight, the next step is we'll put in a purchase order to buy the equipment. It'll be a spring installation for those. The contractor will come in, remove the existing pieces, install the new pieces. And then when he's complete, he'll top dress that entire playground with 3 inches of wood chips. So it'll look very good. Later on your agenda tonight. Any questions I can answer?
Thank you.
Hey, Rich, you're up. I got you first slide.
Hey, Brian.
Yes, sir. Can you guys
Hold on.
hear me?
One second, Rich, hold on. Just got a question. Yes.
If I remember right, the equipment before was like 94 grand and now it's up to 104. What got the difference in the
We
playground?
added some musical pieces for the kids. There's some pieces that don't need a fall zone, but they're sensory type of pieces of equipment where the kids come up and play.
Okay. So we added stuff, so that's where the.
Yeah, that was
9 grand
added
over
to
budget
that,
was.
yes, correct. Okay, Rich, you're up. Go ahead. First slide's up.
Hello, everybody. Thanks, Brian, for getting me in. So just an update on this summer's construction, the high school screen wall dehumidifier. The only thing we have left to do there is backfill, pea gravel, some site restoration and cleanup. And then they're doing a gas. Hey, Brian, I think these are the old slides. I'm almost certain they are.
This is the one you sent me this morning, but go ahead. Just wing it.
All right. Actually, you know what? There's just a mess up here. So the gas line for the high school and boring for the electrical and dehumidification systems going on next week. And we're trying to get that done in the next 2 weeks, but it's starting next week. After that's when we'll backfill and do pea gravel and some site restoration. Pool room scope's 100% complete. We're waiting for one unit vent VAV for a classroom that came in bad with the unit. This should arrive next week. And once that arrives, we'll have Johnson Woods install it. And we'll be done with the high school. The middle school ball fields, sidewalks started to be poured today. They actually started weeks ago, but by the ball fields, they started today. Dugouts are arriving and being installed on Wednesday this week. Thursday and Friday, they are starting the backstop and dugout fencing. And then scope completion is expected to be completed by the 29th of September. I think we're going to finish probably 3 days before that, but that's the deadline anyway for the grand opening. Football field, that's completed 100%. The track surface is starting Wednesday, 9/20. And the track and entire scope of work in the track will be done by 9/28. So it'll be ready for homecoming and the big grand opening. Next one.
Okay, so at the baseball field, the scoreboard is up, it's installed, the flagpole's up. New bleachers and press box are also in place, in their position now. So when those dugouts get back, then they'll place the dugouts and then they can continue the fencing. They have already stripped the infield out and cut the new grass line, for the infield. So they haven't been at a total stall waiting for the dugouts. They've been doing everything they can other than waiting for those dugouts to get here. So
Is that
Yep.
panel energized out there right now?
it's not.
Okay.
Say that again?
No,
Oh, is it
I was just wondering if
energized?
the panel, I was up there yesterday at a soccer game. I walked out there and the panel cover's off. I didn't know if that had juice out to that panel.
Inside the press box, that's not.
No, not yet. Not yet. That'll all be done. I mean, the electric's done and ready. We just have to unlock it and do a few terminations once the dugouts are in.
Okay, next we move on to Swanson.
Yep. So Harvey Swanson, for flooring, there's just punch list stuff left, and then also redoing the flooring in the preschool during Christmas break. That was due to the flooring change. Doors, we're waiting for arrival for one piece of hardware for the C-Wing girls' bathroom. It's a handle that's operational working. It's just not the right handle that's supposed to be on it. So once that comes in, we'll install that. Waiting on the doors for the cafeteria to arrive. The mullion is on site, the removable mullion, but they put some temporary doors in there to make do with the original setup with the permanent mullion. But now that the new one's in, we got the new doors on the way. The security locks have been completed. We are going to verify them all tomorrow, but they're all supposedly installed. We just want to check them and verify them that everything works and they're nice and easy to put in and pull out. Punch list verification's happening tomorrow. They finished their punch list on today, and Larry's verifying everything's done tomorrow on that. Roofing's 100% completed at Harvey Swanson, and then just a general comments. Parts are ordered for the mini blinds, so we're going to be back charging the painter for installation when the parts arrive. The painters did install probably 80% of them, but they lost some parts on the rest of them, so we ordered some new parts, and we're having another contractor follow up behind. The painter's fine with that. And once that's completed, minus the stuff that we have to finish in Christmas and then a few bulletins that just recently came out, we'll be done with all the summer work over at Harvey Swanson. And when I talk about bulletins, there's a few countertops. Here's some pictures. There's a few countertops in the office area that we're waiting for, and then one cabinet that I seen an email for today. And Brian, if you want to speak on the other one, you can. One thing I do want to mention is, so we've got a punch list from the principal. We got Brian's punch list, and we did a punch list ourselves. Eventually, we have to draw a line. I was talking to Larry today. He's our field manager on site, and he heard that there might be another punch list coming. We need to get like a final one, because what'll start happening is it'll start irritating the contractors, and I'll never be able to get them off site. So, if we could have come up with a date for saying all final punch lists by this date, anything found thereafter would just have to be like a warranty call to the contractor. So it's not like they'll leave you hanging, but they could go forever because people notice things over time.
What we've done is Jessica's created a Google Doc that you can all tell her staff. They've noticed some things, whether it's furniture related, finish related, construction related. So that's what Rich is referring to. So we're working off of that list, and then I think we targeted end of September, right? September 29th. September 29th will be the last day. To what Rich was saying there, he is correct. We don't want to drag on and on. So, but we'll give responses from the teachers, basically room by room, and that'll help us to go through room by room. And as we complete the items, we'll check it off on the Google Doc, and then that should bring closure to that. Be all set, wait for Christmas break. The other item he was talking about is we are going to replace also the countertop in the STEM classroom. There are 4 sinks that are in there, but the edge band is bad and the backsplash is not in good shape. So we got a price for that. We're gonna replace that during Christmas break as well, along with the other countertops that Rich mentioned in the main office area. So, but we still a lot of work. We'll come back at Christmas break and do some final touch-ups that we don't want to, disturb the teachers, because they're not one-day projects. They're going to last a couple of days. So we'd rather not do that. We'll do that over Christmas break. They can still utilize the items that they have now. So we'll come in when the kids are gone on break and do that. Any questions at all that we can answer for summer 23? Great. Thanks, Rich.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure working with you guys.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, the last item for this evening, I just wanted to verbally speak to some district work that we're partaking in for the 2023-2024 school year. One of the first items that has been the most exciting is just changing our motto a little bit. You may notice you have some cups in front of you. Those are gifts to all of our teachers and all of our staff when they return back for the school year, but to ensure that we are prideful in who we are as Brandon School District employees, rather than saying, we are Blackhawks, where we transitioned that to we are Brandon and I am a Blackhawk. So we have a lot of pride in who we are and what we represent here in the school district. So my oldest son happens to be a middle schooler, and I said, finish this sentence in the car on the way to work today. And I said, we are Brandon. And he said, I am a Blackhawk. So well done, Mr. Air. So that was fun. But aside from that larger piece that I hope you get to see throughout the district as you spend time over the school year, but there are three main priorities for us in the school district this year, one of which is our behavior intervention program, PBIS, Positive Behavior Intervention and Supports. This is where HAWK comes from. I think Mr. Air is a great example of what our hope is for this to look like all across the district. Actually, a Harvey team came together and resurrected the HAWK traits from years past. And those are now district-wide traits where all buildings utilize the HAWK acronym to help educate and inform our students on how to behave all across our buildings, whether it be on the bus, in the classroom, in the bathroom, in the cafeteria, in the hallway, in the office. I can keep going, but you can see there's lots of places we want to make sure our students are learning and growing socially as well as academically, and PBIS is helping us do that. Secondly, Mr. Air actually touched on this. You did really well tonight. Nice job. Our math goal for this year, looking at our trends over time academically regarding state and internal assessments. Mathematics is an area that we need to be spending some time as an opportunity for growth. And so the entire school district, again, is engaging in professional learning with our staff members, whether that be a special educator, whether it be a general ed teacher, all elementary teachers, and then our teachers at the middle and high school in which they're specializing with math instruction. They're all engaging professional learning to ensure that we are implementing the curriculum we have with fidelity and that our students are able to tackle that. And so lastly, we're going to also be working on what's called the Universal Design for Learning. It's a concept which provides all students access to the curriculum. Many say it's a low floor, high ceiling, meaning that no matter what a student knows coming into a situation, they're able to access our curriculum, and there's no limit to how far they can go in learning and stretching that information. And so we're very excited. That's going to be a November launch for us because we've been pretty busy with PBIS and also our math work. And so to make sure we don't go crazy and we make sure we're pacing ourselves appropriately so we can be doing things properly all the way along, we'll be launching that work in November. So I did want to share that out to our community. I know I've mentioned it with Coffee with Carly last week. I know that Clay Stewart and Dr. Jessica Cohen, we have spent time with the board on this topic as well, and obviously internally. We spent a lot of time on this as well, but I wanted to ensure that our community was aware of what our goal is moving forward for this school year. So thank you for your time, and that's the end of my report.
All right. Thanks, Carly. All right, now we have public comments and questions on agenda business. All right, before our public comments, the Brandon Board of Education recognizes the value of public comments and the importance of expressing yourselves to us on district matters. In person, I'll leave it up. When addressing the board, please recognize yourself by stating your name. Each statement shall be limited to 3 minutes. You can only speak once. The statements shall be directed at the board only. Generally, the board will not respond to public comments during the meeting. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. To ensure due process and respect of individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. A problem involving an individual or specific incident is best handled through the administrative channels. Such matters should be reduced to writing and sent to the superintendent or the board president. While it is not our intent to stifle public comment, speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. If you are unsure of the legal ramifications of what you're about to say, we urge you to consult first with your legal advisor. The board wants to hear what people want to say. We expect each speaker will model for our students and others in the audience on how one can respectfully disagree with others' views or voice an opinion or ask questions. Mr. Wills.
Thank you. You'll have to forgive me because I wasn't sure where I needed to be, whether it be on agenda items or non-agenda items. So you don't have a distinction between the two. So I'm gonna, you might forgive me, I might talk a little bit about both. But within 3 minutes. The last time I was out here, my 3 minutes ran out. And I was in the process of congratulating the district, particularly Principal Dan Stevens, and also Christina Sulis, and members of the Brandon High School Student Council, as they had done a magnificent job in helping with the downtown DDA organization and participating with the cleanup of the fireworks which ran on this property. They did a wonderful job, very well attended, very attentive. Also, each and every Saturday during the Saturdays at the farmers market, we have at least 4 students participating. So they've really done a magnificent job, and my hats off to the student council and to Christina as their advisor. Secondly, and unrelated, we just learned about the bid packages for the Harvey Swanson outside facility for next summer. And so my question is, we had a meeting on August 31st, we being the board of directors of the Great Lakes Pickleball Association with Superintendent Stone. And we had a very cordial meeting. And my question is to you, to the board, is when will we hear of any kind of a response from the board or the superintendent, and who will be making that decision? Will it be one or the other? So that's my question, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Dave?
Actually, I don't have anything to say. I just put myself there in case someone had a question for me that I could actually talk, so. But thanks, I think you guys are doing a great job, thanks.
Thank you. All right, now on to approval of consent agenda. Can I get?
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support. Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary,
Yes.
yes, Rebecca.
Yes. Information and discussion items, curriculum report. Lori Stewart.
All right, well, I am gonna talk a little bit with the help of Julie, our third grade teacher from Harvey Swanson. As Carly indicated, and you've heard from me before, one of our big focuses this year is on math instruction. And to that end, I wanted to have Julie come up and share kind of what we did, started last year, to intervene with students in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade who might be struggling a little bit in math. So at the very end of last year, Julie and Kathy March, both of them together, worked with all of our students based on the NWEA assessment who scored in the 20th percentile or below and needed a little bit of extra help in math. And they designed an intervention program that they implemented at the very end of last year. And she has come with some data and some talking points to kind of talk about the journey that they were on at the end of last year. And then we'll talk a little bit about how that's going to affect what we're doing this year. So I'll let everybody
It's good
share.
to see familiar faces. I'm Julie Mercury, third grade teacher from Harvey Swanson. So you talked about some of those things, Coy, already. But I met with Carly in the summer of 2022. We were discussing some additional math support that we needed for elementary students. So we kind of came to this proposal that's on the next slide.
Is that working for you? There you go.
Okay, go ahead. So our target here was for third to fifth grade students with qualifying NWEA scores, so 20th percentile and lower, and teacher recommendation where it would benefit the kids. It was outside of the school day, so we were adding to their day. So for attention issues or something where transportation might be an issue, they might not have been able to participate. We started it toward the end of February and went through May, and we met 3 mornings a week. And these kids that came were so excited to come. I was sharing a story with Coy about when it was time for that Mackinac trip to come, which all the kids were so excited about. There were actually some kids in our group that said, oh, can we do it online on the bus? We're gonna be going on the bus and we don't want to miss it. It was just so sweet. And just to know that they had a change of their confidence and their abilities, as well, as you'll see on one of the next slides. So this last year we used Bridges intervention kits to assess and to place into our 2 groups with Kathy March and myself. And our original parameters were a maximum of 16 total, just so we could really keep those groups small. We ended up, you'll see on the next slide, with 10 students total that were able to commit to that time. But it was enough for us to see that it was worthwhile to do. So how that was set up, the Bridges interventions are set up to be done in small groups or one-on-one. The lessons took about 30 minutes or so, and then we were lined up with an exact path program that took NWEA scores and holes that they had in that scoring system, and it would instruct them in those areas, and then we could work with those kids one-on-one as they needed instruction. So here is a look at the data. The RIT score was just their score. You can see in the winter the score that came in for math, and then in spring you can see that they all increased, which was wonderful. And then looking at that growth percentile, an example for that 83rd percentile would mean that that student showed more growth than 83% of their peers between that testing period. So you can see overall it was really great. There were a couple of lower ones. For example, the 26th percentile, that student didn't finish the program. The 10th percentile, that student shared with me that they didn't take the time to do all the work. So you have varying degrees of commitment there, but overall it was a really impressive improvement. So for this next year, getting started earlier, talking to Coy to look at last year's plan. The changes are in blue. We'll plan to meet quite earlier this year and hopefully have a fall, winter, and spring session that we will use after the NWEA fall testing scores to get started, and then possibly have new groups, maybe have some of the same kids commit. Whoever is able to do that and shows the most need would be included. We have some teachers from Oakwood that have showed some interest in doing that, and possibly after school as well. We'll see. No finals there, but we're discussing, and we moved the time for just a half an hour to try to help with attentiveness and maybe open the opportunity up for more students that might not be able to arrive so early. Myself and some teachers from Oakwood went to math recovery training at Oakland schools, where it's real intensive training where real quickly you find those gaps where math is learned on a continuum very similar to literacy. And so when you have those gaps, improving later on is a little bit more difficult. So we go back and try to plug in those holes. And so we can use a lot of that small group setup. And if we exhaust what we've learned in those math recovery units, then we move on to those same Bridges intervention kits that we used last year as well. And we will be supporting with IXL this year because it'll just be a shorter amount of time. So not so much instruction is needed. So
in Just in
Go
summary. So just in summary, I just put a slide together that just kind of shows what Julie pretty much already went through, but the NWA scores are gonna be used to determine, and yes, we are gonna be adding in Oakwood students this year because we definitely have 2 people who are interested. Possibly running 1 session in the morning, 1 session in the evening, or afternoon after school. And math recovery is the other thing that I wanted to just really say that we're excited to bring in because it's a research-based intervention program. They've been so excited. Every teacher that's taken it is saying it's the best, most powerful professional learning they've been involved in a long time, and they're excited to get it active with students, and this is going to be a really great opportunity for that to happen. And running it the 3 sessions, fall, winter, and spring, is going to give us just that much of a more opportunity to reach more students or the same students that might need more longer term support. So we're really excited to expand the program, especially based on the results that Julie shared. And we'll be looking forward to having more staff come and show you the further results from this year's implementation. Good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Julie.
Thank you, Julie.
Yeah. Finance. And none.
I'll talk in closed session.
Okay, all right. So now we have action items, approval of human resource report.
The Brandon Board of Education approved the human resource report as presented.
Support. Any discussion? Take a roll call vote.
Jane,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary.
Yes.
Jeff.
Approval of Harvey Swanson 5th grade students overnight trip to Mackinac.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the Harvey Swanson Elementary 5th grade students overnight trip to Mackinac Island, May 21 to 22, 2024 as presented.
Support. Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary.
Yes.
Approval of Oakwood 5th grade students overnight trip to Mackinac.
Move the. No.
Yeah, still fine. We did Harvey, this is Oakwood.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the Oakland 5th grade students overnight trip to Mackinac Island, May 21, 22, 2024 as presented.
Support. Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane.
Yeah.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary.
Yes.
Jeff.
Approval of student council overnight trip to Camp Pocatonic.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the student council overnight trip to Camp Pocatonic, Grand Lake, October 29th to 24th, 2023 as presented.
Support. Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary.
Yes.
Jeff.
Approval of policy update 5707 school wellness policy.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve policy update 5707 school wellness policy as presented.
Support. Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane. Rebecca,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary.
Yes.
Jeff.
Approval of Oakwood playground installation.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the bid recommendation from Wakely Associates, Inc. to award the playground installation bid to Michigan Recreational Construction, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $61,900 as presented.
Support. Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Jane,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary.
Yes.
Jeff.
Right. Citizens input, we don't have any more, right? Or do we? Oh, we did not. Okay. All right, so now we are going to close that then.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve to enter closed session to discuss contract negotiations. Support.
Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Jane,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Hillary.
Yes.
All right,